fixture in real estate? What's personal property? How do you tell the difference? Is this bookshelf a fixture? We're going to talk about it today, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Theresa Wellman with HomeownerExperience.com, your local San Jose, California Realtor. And today we're going to talk about the difference between a fixture and personal property and how to know what stays and what goes when you're either buying or selling a home. So first, let's define a fixture. What really is a fixture? Technically, a fixture is anything attached to the property or land that is fitted to that property. So there's a lot of probably gray zones in there. For example, this bookshelf or the TV that's mounted on your wall. Are those considered fixtures? Well, let's jump into the contract and look exactly what it says about those items and then go over some actual real examples.
Okay, here we are with the California Real Estate Residential Purchase Agreement. This is for single-family homes and condos and townhomes. And this is page 3 of the contract, as you can see at the very bottom. So what I want to point out is section 8. It says, note to buyer and seller. Items listed as included or excluded in the MLS, flyers and marketing materials are not included or excluded from the sale unless specified below. So all items are included in the sale unless otherwise noted. So all existing furniture and fittings that are attached to the property. Now, personal items are not included. So what we're doing is we're trying to define what is a difference between a fixture and personal property. So a fixture is existing electrical, mechanical, lighting, plumbing, heating fixtures, ceiling fans, fireplace inserts, gas logs, and grates. As you can see, it goes on and on here, detailed. Window coverings. A lot of people don't realize that window coverings are actually included. Of course, you would expect the floor and satellite dishes to be included and pool equipment. But what about in-ground landscaping? Of course, you'd expect that. But what about water features and water fountains? Not always clear, so this specifies that here as well. And because a stove can be removed, it's usually not built in, it's usually just set into a counter. You need to specify that, as well as washer dryers and refrigerators, because those are not fixtures, but they are commonly included in a sale. So there is a special checkbox for those items to be included or not. Now, what's excluded, or what is maybe some of those gray zones, and how does it define it? So audio and visual components such as flat screen TV, speakers, and other items, if it is itself not attached to the property, even if a bracket or mechanism attaches it to the property. So brackets that are attached to the wall, floors, or ceilings for any component such as your TV or furniture will remain with the property. Unless you check here, then they'll remove the bracket and repair the hole. But what that means is that flat screen TV is not included, but the bracket behind it is included. So let's go ahead and take a look at some pictures of properties and see if you can help me determine what's a fixture and what is personal property. All right, here is a property that I have a buyer in contract in. There's a beautiful fireplace, and of course that's included. Now, what about, I don't know if you can see in there, but there is actually gas logs. What about those gas logs? Are those included? Well, actually, it did specify in the contract that gas logs are indeed included, and the grate that goes with it, and those doors. So yes, those are included. Now, it did say speakers that are not attached are not included, so these would not be included. And this TV is sitting on this counter here, so that is not included. Now, what about this up here? Are these cabinets considered built-in? Well, they are indeed fixed to the wall, so technically they are included unless it's specified and agreed upon that they be removed, and in which case, then the seller is to patch the spot where those items have been removed. Let's go on to the next photo. Here's a TV mounted to the wall. So we've already discussed what exactly stays and goes with that. But look at these speakers up here. There are speakers in wall. So underneath this TV and up in the ceiling. What do you think? Are those speakers fixtures? Well, your answer is, should be, yes, they are. Indeed, they are installed into the property, so therefore they are considered fixtures. Again, these speakers are not, and they would not be included unless otherwise specified. Now here's a standard kitchen that has a couple unique items. So as you can see, the stove can actually slide out in this area. So we do need to checkbox that on the purchase agreement to make sure that that item is included. But what about this wine fridge? Is a wine fridge included? What do you think? Well, in this case, it is actually built into the cabinets. So yes, indeed, it is included. And of course, the cabinetry and all of those other items are included as well. So I really hope that helps clarify for you what is a fixture and what is personal property. And if you have more questions, please do comment below so we can help try to figure out how those items should be addressed. And of course, that's why you have your realtor helping you write up this purchase contract, so you make sure all those details are covered and figured out.
So next, you're probably interested on home inspection tips for buyers or sellers, depending on which one you're looking at doing. So check out those videos next. And feel free to comment if any fixtures or personal property are not clear, and I'll help to try to define that for you.